Hello, everyone, and welcome to Stories of the Extraordinary. I am your host, Patrick Slane.
And I'm writer Drake Harmon.
And today we have an extraordinary guest with us, Nickolay Lamm. Nickolay is the creator of the Lammily Doll, recently seen on BuzzFeed and tons of other social media websites. How are you doing today, Nickolay?
I'm okay. How about yourself?
I'm doing good.
I'm doing very well myself. We're very pleased to have you on the show with us.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you for having me.
All right, to start off, Mr. Lamm, first question. You created a doll named Lammily, is that correct?
Yeah, it's kind of like the name of the company. So, but you can name the doll whatever you want to. There's like a passport option on Lammily.com. It's kind of like Hasbro is Hasbro and Lammily is Lammily.
Yes, so tell us what makes Lammily special.
Well, I think, in the fashion doll world, what makes her special is that she looks just like a typical person. And, it's kind of ironic because to be special in the world of fashion dolls, you just have to look like a typical person. And it's like trying to bring, it's just trying to make something normal in the fashion doll world, and kind of like bringing non-specialness into the doll world.
Yeah, that is ironic. So, what would you say inspired you to create Lammily? Health and body image are clearly important topics, and why do you suppose you chose toys to be the product in which you wanted to promote this message?
Well, I remember Barbie's often got a lot of criticism over the years, and I'm like to myself, rather than criticizing her, shouldn't we just actually make an alternative? It's like I remember Mattel. I think they're a great company, but I remember they mentioned that you can't make a doll with realistic proportions because the clothes won't go well on her.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was a bunch of baloney. I don't think whatsoever intentionally was misleading. It's just I think they're a great company, but at the same time, it's like I didn't think it would be that hard
Right.
to create a realistic doll in 2015, and back when I was thinking about it was 2013.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. You said yourself you had struggled with the insecurities of your body, according to an article online. I myself have lived through my share of insecurities. Back in high school, I starved myself and exercised to exhaustion to have a set of six-pack abs. After achieving my desired BMI, I looked and felt terrible. This experience taught me to keep things in perspective. Every one of our bodies is different, so we should not be aspiring to some idealized standard. Is the idea of Lammily getting a male companion a possibility?
Yeah, of course. I'm actually working on that now. And, I feel it's I'm not going to just release a doll called the average boy doll. It's, for it to appeal to kids, to boys, it definitely has to have some kind of, it just has to be cool. It can't just be the dude who is average. So That's my main goal, is to make, a typical looking guy who's also very cool. Kind of Lamlily's cool for girls because she's a fashion doll which you can redress. But for boys, I think there has to be another aspect that makes it interesting.
Sure. In order to appeal to the boy audience, or to the average boy audience, yeah, that makes sense.
I think that's brilliant.
Now, you've also said, I want Lammily's accessories to be reflective of real life in a miniature form. What sorts of accessories would you say are reflective of real life, and why?
Oh, for example, I remember I was at the FAO Schwartz store, and there was there was convertible pink cars, Corvette cars, and that was a Barbie accessory. But I think it would be pretty cool, if the Lammily doll, she came with a hand-me-down used car for college. It's not like a
sports car.
Very, yeah.
Yeah.
I think some people might think of it as a joke, but I think it would be cool, like, because that's like very relatable. Like
Mm-hmm.
the car would have like rust on it, and like it wouldn't be the best car. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. Uh, for the male doll, which you had previously mentioned, what sorts of accessories would we be able to see him using?
Oh well, I have a lot of things I'm working on with him, but um, I'm like I'd rather keep it on the down low because it's kind of like I'd want it to be kind of like a surprise.
Oh, absolutely.
That's understandable.
Can you blame us for
But
asking?
it's gonna be really cool. It's gonna be as cool as like the cellulite stuff that the first edition Lammily has.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, you have also said that Lamley is about being true to you and not setting any standards. Explain more about what this means to be true to yourself, because although perhaps being the best-looking person in the room shouldn't be a goal we shouldn't be too concerned with, it is still a good thing to promote a healthy lifestyle and fitness. Where would you say you draw the line between being healthy and becoming obsessed with physical appearance?
Oh well, I think the key thing, just from my personal experience, is just to not let how I'll just speak from my personal experience. I remember I used to let my how I looked like define who I was, and it was part of my identity.
Mm-hmm.
And like that, I think that's really the cause of like feeling bad about body image and everything. Because when how you look like when it's part of your identity, it's like a terrible feeling. But if you just like do other things and let other things define you, like what you do or just your activities, then you can still be healthy and active, but the whole looks part, they don't define you.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that made sense, but that's really how I feel about this whole thing.
Yes, certainly.
That's cool. Next question. Typically, in like magazines or in beauty product commercials and film, they give us like the ideal body image. How do you suppose these sorts of industries might go about trying to promote the same messages you're trying to get across?
Oh well, like for example, in the Super Bowl, there were a couple commercials about just being real,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yes.
but at the same time, I think it's kind of almost like a fad for companies to just hop aboard the real train. So it's definitely like some companies are authentic, and some companies are definitely oh let's be real, get some like they try to get the impression that they believe in it when it's really just all corporate like brand washing. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
that's right.
Mm-hmm. Now, how would you say you went about going about trying to find the average proportions of what a average 18-year-old woman are? Explain to us that research process.
Oh, I think the 19-year-old woman doesn't matter, but
Oh, pardon me, my
we did.
mistake.
It's all good, no worries. But I remember going to the Center for Disease Control body measurements, and they have like a whole PDF file
Mm-hmm.
of average measurements for like the 18-year-old American woman, 19, 20, all the way up to like 60. So it's all there. It's like you have the waist measurements, the neck measurements, like all these different measurements, and when we designed the doll, it's not like we were saying, okay, the doll has to be like 32 inches exactly. Like we used those CDC measurements as a base
Mm-hmm.
and added like kind of like some more style to it. So it's not like we were like meticulously measuring the doll, which I think some people are thinking.
Mm-hmm.
We just wanted her to look typical, and that was our main goal.
Very cool.
Absolutely. It is clear that you have tried to make something completely different from the Barbie doll. Barbie has a broad variety of jobs and occupations, such as lawyer, model, astronaut, housewife, etc. What One might think perhaps Barbie being involved in these sorts of occupations would be considered a good thing, because does that not say that to young girls you have the potential to do anything that you want? Do you agree or disagree with this message, and explain why or why not?
Oh, of course. Well, first of all, I think a lot of people think that I'm like against Barbie, but I actually think Mattel's a great company. Barbie's a great product. I encourage
Yeah, sure.
everybody to get it.
Yeah.
But and I think I also love Barbie's message about you can be anything you want to be. But obviously, the main issue that many people have had with Barbie is that it's kind of like if she's like an entrepreneur, she still looks like a supermodel. So it's like
Yeah.
almost like unintentionally saying like, yeah, like you can be an entrepreneur, but only if you're a supermodel.
Yeah.
And that's obviously not Mattel's intention.
Right. Right.
But I think like when you look at a toy store and there are all these supermodel dolls, I think it's not Mattel being evil. It's just
Yeah.
it's a side effect of the doll's massive popularity.
Mm-hmm.
And like Mattel's kind of it's just been selling so well, so there's no really real need to change it. But
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's great. How well, I mean, I think that's very interesting. How you say you're not necessarily against Barbie, but I suppose I am a little curious. Tell us more about the jobs that Lammily is going to be occupying. I mean, because again, we were saying, yeah, on the one hand, it's great that Barbie is being all these sorts of things, but I mean, would we see Lammily doing something more different or more unique? If that makes sense.
I don't think Lamlily's ever gonna be what's gonna be with Barbie on the number of careers.
Mm-hmm.
What I can feel it can do something different is, for example, like if you're a gymnast, like right now, if you're a gymnast for a typical fashion doll, you're like an automatic gymnast.
Mm-hmm.
You have all the gold medals on your neck, but the reality of being a gymnast is that you can break your foot, you have bruises, you have white chalk all over you. So I think Lammily can have accessories which show that it's to get from point A to point B. It's not that simple. Real life, if you want to succeed, you have to go through a lot of nonsense and hard work.
Yes.
But that's what you need to succeed. And I feel that realism can be applied to the accessories. So it's not like you become a superstar champion. The reality is much harder, but that's what it takes.
Yeah, so I don't know, maybe just see Lammily just as the average 19-year-old schoolgirl, or something like that. Yeah, I think that's really cool. Well, Nickolay, thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule to call in. It was really such a pleasure having you, and we really think it's a really, really great thing that that you're doing, and we would love to see what the future has in store for you and Lammily.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you for the interview, guys. I really appreciate it.